Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So when I bought my bike in August of '05, it was a model year old, but it was still brand new. So I immediately noticed that the stock factory brake rotors are completely and hideously ugly. Now, that's no reflection on anyone using the stock factory rotors. They do a good job. They stop the vehicle. They do what they're designed to do. The way they look is a reflection on Willie G, since he's the design engineer. And I mean, I'll pause in right here and I'll show you a picture of the stock factory rotor because mine are long gone. I don't know where they're at. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're inside and I had to Google it to get a picture of it. And now granted, this one is on a soft tail and this is the rear wheel, but it's the same rotor that mine came with, and I hate this rotor. You'll see that the wheel it's mounted on is also a wire wheel like mine, laced or spoke, whatever they want to call it. But you'll remember that on mine, like in this area right here, you could see the hub, you could see the side of the hub, and remember that little angle cut that was right there? Look how much of the wheel itself is covered up with all this business in here. And then, okay, the holes in it right here, the holes look like he took a shotgun and just fired at it from 50 yards, and wherever the pellets hit, then he had them drill holes. It just looks totally random. But the pattern, I mean, it's not random because every one of these rotors has the exact same. You could stack them all up and the holes would line up rotor to rotor, but there's no discernible pattern to these holes. So the holes look like just like a random design, like I said. It totally covers up your beautiful wire wheels. It's not polished, it's not stainless. On mine, okay, you'll notice right here the friction area right here. And I guess it's good, okay, they do work, they do stop the vehicle, they do everything that they're supposed to do. I guess they're not supposed to look good because they don't do that. On mine, the pad area right here, the brake rotor is a little bit shorter, so you'll see that when after I edit this in, that the spoke right here going out, the pad kind of rubs even on the spoke a little bit. And that, okay, you may or may not think that's good, but it does expose a little tiny bit more of the wheel. It makes your wheel more visible depending on, what wheel you got behind there. But these are the rotors. And millions of these things were manufactured. They came on those bikes for a number of years. And these were the first changes that I made to my motorcycle. I got rid of these stock rotors right here. Okay, let's go back to the garage. Okay, so my first upgrade was to switch over to stainless steel brake rotors. And I've talked about Exile on my other video. So Exile, they sell the 11.5-inch stainless steel brake rotor. At the time, they were $200. I don't know how much they are now. They've recently added a bolt-on brake caliper, 4-piston. That one's looking like $350. I haven't done that yet. When I bought the first one, I was at the shop, and I don't know if you can still walk in or not. I don't think you can. They're not on Satakoy anymore. I'm not sure where they're at. I know they're in the Hollywood area, North Hollywood. But I remember they put it up on their machine, and they drilled out, they countersunk these holes right here. And when I had the dealer install the rotor for me, I don't know if they put red Loctite, but I could not get this off. You can see it was stripping right there. And this rim was bent anyway from when I wrecked the bike, so I just went ahead and put a whole new back wheel on it. Okay, now a couple things about the Exile stainless steel brake rotor. Okay, so now they come with a regular, shall we say, bolt hole right there that takes the regular, shall we say, fasteners. So that's a problem solved right there. That's good. That's better. But one thing you will have to do, depending on your application and depending on what year axle and what year motorcycle and that sort of thing. Okay, my bike's an 05, and I don't know everything about every Harley ever made. I only know about my motorcycle. So my 05 hubs, the hole in the middle right here on the rotor is too small. So luckily I had a spare center hub from when I wrecked the bike. This is the front hub, and I was able to take the rotor and this hub right here to the machine shop and have them open up this middle hole so it fits perfectly on there. So if you buy a Exile stainless steel brake rotor, you'll have to ask them about that. Maybe they've addressed that. Maybe they have 2 part numbers now. I don't know. Otherwise, you'll have some additional machining cost to have that opened up, depending on how well equipped your own shop is. Okay, another thing. So if you look at this photo of their product, you see the edge is smooth. Okay, and if you look at this one, I got these divots in here, right? And then if you look at my older one, okay, the edge is smooth. So my uncle, may he rest in peace, being a retired machinist and tinkering around out in his garage, we use this one as the template. That's why it's got die-cam all over it to set up the machine and the cutter and all that. So this half hole right there, it's the same diameter and the same distance on center like as these two right here. But I just wanted, for some reason, to have the edge broken up a little bit. I thought it might increase a little bit of, give it a little extra flash or something, make it different. Okay, let's see how they look on the motorcycle. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing. Okay, because this just reminded me. These are organic, and they're just like a generic one, Dura organic brake pad set, made in Taiwan. Bought these from J&P Cycles. Okay, you see how rough this is? Okay, focus. See how rough that surface is? And this one's really bad. Because what I didn't know, and no one told me, is that when switching over to stainless steel brake rotors, you must use an organic pad. Otherwise, it will grind and make a bunch of noise, and it'll just destroy your rotor and your pads and everything. I mean, it doesn't work. You must use, as far as I know, you must use organic brake pads to avoid this. Okay, so it's been a while now. It's been a few years. Let's look at the pads and the rotors on my bike. Okay, and we'll start with the front from the right side. Remember that you look at your own bike from all sides, and observers, the public, they look at your bike from all sides. Now, of course, your application will vary. You may have mags or big fenders or whatever, you know what I mean? So you can see the friction area is very smooth. Okay, let's go to the other side. And I like the 5-spoke open design of the rotor because it opens up in the middle of the wheel. You can see the hub, you can see the spokes, you can see everything at speed. You can't even tell that the spokes are there. It looks like the ring is just floating. You can see the edge. Okay, now let's see. Well, you'll believe me if I tell you that it's about time for me to replace to replace these pads. Because I am quickly running out of, all right, you can see it right there. And so I've gone through a whole set of front pads, and the brake rotor is still very smooth and in great condition. Let's look at the rear. And you can see here, if I hold the camera steady, you can see how open the 5-spoke design is. You can see the inner hub, the spokes, you can see everything, light shining in there, reflecting. And you'll notice also, okay, the sun's coming in really bright. See this edge right there? There's an angle cut on the hub. That the open design reveals. So you get a lot more. You just get a different look. You know, depending on your wheel. I mean, if you've got an expensive mag wheel, you may have already upgraded your rotors. All right, my friends, hold on a second. All right, my friends, I couldn't really find a scripture that had to do with wheels, except for chariots and that sort of thing. So we'll go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou should vow and not pay. All right, my friends, you have a good day.